Hi everyone, John Cottrell here of MBODY Yoga, and welcome to Soft Flow Yoga. This practice is called twists and binds. I like this style of practice because twisting can really condition our core, but also can help with some decompression of the spine, actually strengthens our abdominal muscles, and it's a nice cleansing action of the body. And then binds, since we'll be using the binds in our shoulders, or that's how we'll be getting into our postures, we'll be focusing on the shoulders, can really help loosen up the joints and ligaments in that area of the body, as well as your elbows and your wrists. So here's the props that we'll need for our practice today. So of course you want to be sitting on something soft, like a blanket or a soft towel. And then a couple of yoga blocks. We like to use our blocks for a couple of yoga postures. If you don't have yoga blocks, you can always use a couple of hardbound books. And for another prop, sometimes I use a yoga strap for our binds, but I don't have my strap today, and if you don't have a yoga strap, you can actually just use a hand towel that will just be using something like this. So it doesn't have to be too long, but this should be just the right size for what we're going to be doing today. Alrighty, so I'm going to keep this to the side. Of course, I have my yoga bolster here. That's an optional piece, but you can always grab a big pillow or a bolster if you want to add that to your practice. So let's go ahead and start in seated. I invite you to sit nice and tall. And of course, you can sit on a nice cushion if you'd like, or your folded towel or blanket. Just be sure you feel some length through the spine and take some deep breaths. You'll breathe in completely and exhale completely. Yes, do that again. Breathing in and exhale. Excellent. Now just continue with slow, steady breaths. Just to get in tune with your breathing, more connected to your own body. We do this in stillness, and you're welcome to do this with your eyes closed if you'd like. Or if you choose to keep them open, just take a soft gaze forward or downward. Slow, steady breaths. Paying attention to your breathing. Notice what it feels like as it flows through you as you take these slow, steady breaths. And listen to the sound of your breath. So if your breath is a bit soft, just turn up the volume so you can hear it. Good. Let's just stay here for a few more moments and just continue to tune in. Let's bring a little bit more awareness to the breath and body. As you breathe in, just feel the breath rising upward to fill your lungs. So a nice expansive breath here. Then as you exhale, as you're able, draw your belly button in towards your spine. It's a little pulling action from your center. And in doing so, we're engaging what's called the abdominal lock, which really provides great support in the body as we get moving. Again, let's breathe in, feel the lengthening of your spine, sitting up a bit taller as you feel the breath rise to fill your lungs. Then as you exhale, draw your belly button in towards your spine, that light contraction of your abdominal muscles to engage the abdominal lock. Connecting to your center and providing support and strength. Continue with these sensations and this awareness. We're going to add a very simple movement here just to get into the joints of our shoulders, since our binding postures will involve our shoulders. Take 2 more breaths here in stillness. Good. When you're ready, inhale and extend your arms out across the room, then all the way up to complete that first round of the breath, the inhale. Then exhale, extend your arms out with good energy in your hands and fingers, and let them float back down by your side as you complete the second part of the breath, the exhale. Let's do that again. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up, reaching into the air. Exhale, extend the arms out again. Keep the energy in your fingers all the way back down. Let's just continue that. Inhale, reach out and up. And exhale, lower your arms. Now you don't have to move how I'm moving. Move at your own pace, and you're really just following the pace of your breath. So if you're breathing a little slower, then your arms are moving a little slower. But do pay attention to the sensations in your body, particularly your shoulders, how this allows the movement of your arms up and down. And we'll pay attention to different ways the shoulder can move. We have to rely quite a bit on our shoulders, and we can take our shoulders for granted. Also feel the lengthening through the sides of your body as you reach high up into the air. You want to also feel like you're being lifted up. Good. Finish the breath that you're on and take 2 more breaths. Take your time. And when you're complete, you can just let your arms come down, let them rest. Your hands can rest on your knees or in your lap, and just come to complete stillness here. Return to the awareness of your breath. All right, I'm just turning sideways so you can just see the formation of my body for these next couple of poses. And when we did this motion, we felt the arms move laterally out, and that's getting into the lateral movement of the shoulders here. All right, now we're going to bring the hands behind us. And as you're doing so, just turn your palms up for a moment, reach back, and then just place your fingertips on the floor. And in doing so, as we pay attention, we get this what's called an outer rotation of the shoulder, rolling back, reach back, and place fingertips on the floor. And as we get into this next pose, which will be a seated back bend, we're going to get a movement or a sensation in the front portion of the shoulders that's tied in with the chest here. So I'm going to do the same with my other hand, bringing it behind, outer rotation of the arm, fingertips on the floor. So the shoulders feel rolled back, my chest feels proud and opened, and then lastly, just tip your chin up slightly. Now, breathe in to fill up your lungs, that nice expansive feeling. And the exhale, continue to pull the belly button in towards spine. Let's add a few more sensations here. Another breath in, fill up your lungs, but also press into the floor with the fingers so you feel that energy and more sensation in your arms and shoulders. Exhale, pull belly button in towards spine, and if you're able, squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. It's really just activating the upper back muscles. It's like you're trying to bring your shoulders to meet each other behind you, like bringing your shoulders towards your spine. 2 more breaths. Notice the sensations here. Very good. Now lower your chin and walk your hands towards yourself to sit up tall, and just bring the arms in front and just feel that relaxation of your shoulders and arms. Then we're going to do a forward fold here too. Since we did a back bend, we want to counter that with a forward fold. We're going to do this slightly different, but we are going to uncross the legs, place the soles of the feet together. So we're in our cobbler's pose or bound angle pose. So we get into the stretch of the inner legs. Now don't worry about bringing the heels in too closely. You might even take the legs or slide the feet out a little bit, okay? So if you can tell, well, you really can't tell with my legs, so just look at your legs and maybe they form more of a 90-degree angle here, so there's not too much pressure in the knees. And then you might want to use your blocks or hardbound books for a place to rest the legs. And since the feet are farther away, you might just want to hold on to your shins. Now let's get ready. We're going to inhale to extend the spine. I'm just holding onto the shins to help lift and extend the torso. Exhale, just starting to hinge forward slightly out towards the toes or the front edge of the mat. Still holding on to the ankles, maybe your feet. Inhale, keep extending through the spine, so I'm lifting up through the crown of the head. Exhale, pull belly button in and hinge forward a little bit more. Now we're going to add a little bit more sensation. We start with the extended spine. Again, notice what's happening in the inner legs for the stretch. But here, grab hold of your feet or toes if you can reach them. Lower your head slightly and bow or round your back so you go a little lower and deeper. And if you feel okay here, let's add an extra movement by extending the arms out in front. And again, just like we did when the hands were behind us, propped up on top of the fingers or just onto your fingertips. And just feel like you're trying to crawl or reach forward. Now notice what's happening through the back portion or the rear portion of your shoulders and across the back. Keep the head low and take deep breaths. Now what we're doing here is trying to expand through the upper back. Just as we were expanding through the lungs and front body and chest, now we're expanding through the lungs but through the back body. And this might create more of that sensation because the hands and arms are out in front of us. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And when we're complete, we'll just walk the hands back towards the legs. Let's lift the chin to help re-extend the spine slightly, and then hinge your way up so we return to a nice tall seat. Very good. Let's do one more thing while we're still seated. I'm going to move my blocks out of the way. Let's go ahead and cross the legs again, like so. We're going to add a twist. So I'm going to stay facing this way. I'm going to bring my left hand behind, propped up on my fingertips. You can keep it back here or even a little closer. Because what we want to do with this back hand is press into the floor to feel the torso get as tall and long as possible. Take your right hand and just place it on your left knee or thigh. And still face forward. We're going to do a mild twist as we get into our twisting pose. Part of the exercise or part of our practice today. Inhale, feel lifted and lengthened. Exhale, pull belly button in. And a gentle turn towards this left knee or just a little bit to the left. Not too much. And this hand here is just holding on to the leg, really just to hold you in place. Now you don't need to pull yourself into the rotation. You're really doing that with the strength of your own core. The twisting, the exhale, and noticing what's happening in the spine and your core system as you rotate. Just a couple more breaths, just introducing twists. All right, inhale to still feel tall, even though you're still in the rotation. Exhale, pull belly button in to secure and support the belly and the whole torso and upper body, and then face forward. You can bring your hands around to the front and hold here for a moment. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Let's set ourselves up. So right hand behind you, maybe close to the body. Push into the floor to help you sit up nice and tall, making as much space as you can through the spine. And just place the left hand over here on the right knee or thigh. You're still facing forward. Inhale, get much taller, create the space. Exhale, pull belly button in and rotate without pulling. I'm just going to free my left hand so you can see I'm not pulling myself into the twist. I'm just turning until I naturally stop. And I didn't turn that far. And then I'll place the hand on the knee to hold myself in place. And I'll stay here. This feels really good. My low back and my left hip at the moment feels a little tight, so I don't have to turn too far, but I do like this gentle twist to get a nice mild stretch as well. 2 more breaths. We're going to take a third breath to get a little taller in the spine. Exhale to pull belly button in to secure the body as you now move to unwind to face forward. Let's bring the hands back to our knees. Very good. All right, let's carefully move to our hands and knees. Just uncross the legs. I'm just going to swing the legs around behind. Here's where you might want to use your blanket or your towel. I like to unfold my blanket here so it's a little longer, like so. So I can come to my hands and knees. So knees on the back here, hands up front, nice padding. Now we're going to do our cat-cow movement to get into the spine, but we're also going to do a twist here. All right. So inhale and just tip the chin up. Feel like your heart is actually moving forward. At the same time, tip the pelvis back, creating an arched back. You may not be able to see my back arch as much here, but I'm arching the back, feeling the belly drop. That's the in-breath. Exhaling, tuck pelvis under. Feel the back round. Allow the belly button to pull up towards spine, chin to chest. That's the exhale. Inhale, tip the pelvis back, belly drops. There's the arched back, heart forward, look forward. Exhale, tuck pelvis under, belly button pulls up towards spine, rounded spine, chin to chest. When we pull the belly button up towards spine, we're still engaging the abdominal lock. Now just continue with this flow. I'm going quite slowly here. You can move slowly if you'd like, but just move in the pace or at the pace that feels best for you. Pay attention to the undulation of the spine, the movement of the pelvis, and certainly feel and hear the breath. Finish the breath that you're on and take 2 more. And when you're complete, just return to a neutral tabletop position. Pause here. Now this could put some added pressure on the wrists. We like to take a little rest. First, let's tuck the toes behind us and start to sit back a little bit. Just crawling back just until you can take the hands off the floor here. And then just massage the hands, massage the wrists by maybe circling the wrists one direction and then the other direction. Lift and drop. Okay? Alrighty. Now we're going to get ready for the twist, which is thread the needle. And we're going to kind of do it mildly, hopefully, with some props. Let's see if I can do this with blocks here. So I'm going to bring my stacked blocks out front. I think this will work. I'm kind of experimenting with this. But I think I need to kind of change or move my blanket slightly. All right, so here's what we'll do. Stacked blocks or books here. I'm going to take my left arm, bend it at 90 degrees, and place it right here like an armrest on the stacked blocks. Still facing forward. I'm going to kind of lift and extend the spine. So crown is pointing forward. I feel like I'm going to go forward. But I'm going to put some pressure on this forearm, on this block, so I can free my right hand. I'm going to inhale and reach the right hand out to the side. Then exhale, thread the arm or thread the needle underneath my body towards the left side of the room, which creates a bit of a twist. Now I'm going to say just like this. I think this is what I wanted to achieve. One, not twisting too much, but creating kind of this crossed arm sensation. So you might even feel this in the shoulders, but also this slight twist in the upper body, just as we created that mild twist in our seated position. Now my right arm and right elbow is on the blanket here, but most of the weight is in my left arm on the blocks. Now this is a wonderful sensation as the hips feel like they're being drawn directly back. All right, let's come out of the pose. What I'm going to do is continue to push firmly down into the blocks so I can slide this right hand out from underneath and just plant my hand on the floor here to lift so I can get out of this pose. Alrighty, now generally the arm would actually come all the way down to the floor, okay, and then twist underneath. But we're just going to add a little lift by using the blocks. Let's try the other side. So now the right arm, like an armrest on our block here. Lift to extend the spine because we want that space along the spine. Support myself here. Extend the left arm out to the side. That's an inhale. Exhale, thread the needle underneath the body towards the other side. Feel this in the shoulders because of the crossed arms. Hips feel like they're being drawn back. And there's a slight twist in the torso. Again, to me, this feels really good because there's multiple sensations that I think my body needs. I need the stretch in my back and the upper back region, which I feel this now. I feel this nice twist, which is actually helping not only my back, but also my hips. All right, ready to come out of the pose. I'm just pushing down into the blocks so I can easily slide the left hand out from under, plant the hand to push and lift, and now we're complete. All right, good job. Let's move our props out of the way. So our blocks and our blanket here, finished with that for now. Good. And then return to hands and knees up here on the mat. Let's get ready for downward facing dog. First, let's change the spacing by stepping the hands forward, spreading out your fingers as you do so. So you get a stretch in the fingers. Push firmly into the mat with the palms to open the arms or open the hands a bit more. Push into the floor, strong, straight arms. Tuck your toes again. Inhale, tip chin up, look forward. We're arching the back, creating the back bend, cow. Exhale, round it all out into cat. Hold cat pose. Make sure your toes are tucked so you can lift your knees off the mat and then send your hips into the air until you create this inverted V shape with the body. Feel free to make some adjustments with your feet and even your hands here. Push firmly into the floor so your arms feel straight and strong. As you're able, just sink the chest, let your head relax. Your ears might be running alongside the arms. One more breath. And then we're going to take a few steps forward until we're standing in the center of the mat. Feet are flat on the mat, and then slide your fingers toward your toes. We'll be in a forward fold for a moment. Changing this, we're going to inhale, slide the hands up to the shins or the knees, but just form your body into this place where your back is flat like a table. Knees are soft, bent here, but the legs are engaged, and feet are flat on the ground. This is half forward fold. Let's take a few breaths here. Continue to feel the lengthening of the spine. There's an energy moving through the top of your head. So imagine that energy is moving through your crown towards that front wall. Your hips and tailbone are moving to the back wall. All right, ready to stand. Just bring your hands up to your thighs. Push into your thighs just to rise up to maybe here, about 45 degrees. Extend your arms out to the side as you're able. Push feet into the floor until you're standing up nice and tall. And take the arms all the way up into the air. Reach, and then exhale, bring your arms down to your side. Now that we're in standing, let's take a moment to roll the shoulders. We're going to roll them backwards a few times. Do that slowly. And then forward a few times. We've already been doing some work for the shoulders. Let's just loosen them up a little bit here. All right, let's move into our variation of Warrior One. All righty, so that's getting us started here at the top of the mat in mountain pose. Let's do that same outer rotation of the arm to help open up through the shoulder, which gives us nice posture here. Now go ahead and soften your knees and then shift your weight over into your right foot so you feel well planted into the right foot. You're going to lean forward a little bit and making sure now this left foot feels light. Lifting the heel, just the heel, and just start tapping the left foot back until the leg just naturally stops right there. And then we're going to do an outer rotation with the leg, just as we do with the arm here. Do the same with the leg, turning so you can plant that heel into the floor and just feel the body shift back. So we're balanced on 2 feet here with a little bit of distance between the feet. Now go ahead and place your hands on your hips. You want to imagine you're pushing your hips or pelvis down. At the same time, get tall up top, making some space around the belt line so you can face forward. Inhale, extend your arms out and up. And this exhale will bend the elbows. I'm going to do a couple things here. So first, our arms are bent like so. Knees are nice and soft. There's a little buoyancy right here. And we're going to change this, okay? I'm just going to kind of lean forward, put a little weight into this front foot. I'm going to lower my arms, almost kind of moving through the elbows here, okay? And then reach back by extending the arms, palms facing each other. Even imagine you're holding on to something like a box behind you, okay? So strong, straight arms, active reaching, shoulders rolled back. Stay here as we now then just lift that back heel, turn that leg forward, so an inner rotation of that leg, and step forward. Push both feet strongly into the floor, stand up tall. Now sweep your arms out and up, and exhale, bring the arms down to your side. So now we're finished there. Alrighty, so same thing other side. Let's get the arms ready here. Soften your knees. Shift weight into your left foot. Make sure you feel weighted there. Lean forward slightly. Peel your right heel off the floor and start tapping the right foot back until it naturally stops. Outer rotation of the right leg so you can plant the whole foot onto the floor, shifting your body weight back so you're balanced here. Hands on hips, pushing pelvis down. Feel the torso lift so you can face forward. Let's inhale, extend the arms up into the air. Exhale, bend elbows. Here's our 90 degrees. Hold. Let's get back into the breath. Again, this is our variation of Warrior One. We'll be doing a second version a little bit later. But here, just introducing the sensations of the arm extension, but we've got the elbows bent and a slightly wide stance, but it's not too wide. All right, now we're going to lean forward, put a little bit more weight into this front foot. Okay, we got this little movement of the elbows, dropping the arms down, but then extend the arms back, reach straight arms, grab hold of your imaginary package behind you. Shoulders are still rolled back. Taking a breath here. All right, keeping the weight forward and rise up onto my tiptoes behind me with that inner rotation of the leg, lifting the heel, step forward. Press both heels into the floor. Let's stand up tall, reach into the sky, then exhale, arms return to your side. Excellent. Let's just do another circle of the shoulders here. Backward and forward. Wonderful. All right, while we're still standing, let's do a twist, another twist here. So here I like to use a block. So we're going to take the yoga block and place it between the thighs. A good squeeze of the block to hold on to. Now holding onto the block between the thighs here is going to stabilize the hips and pelvis because we really want to rotate the upper body. We don't want to feel a hip shift in this pose, okay? So from the waistline down, everything stays still. Okay, stabilized while the upper body rotates. So here we go. Together, let's inhale, extend the arms up. Exhale, take chair pose. Let me just turn sideways so you can see the chair pose because you don't have to sit back too deeply. And then bring hands to heart. So putting a little weight into the heels. Hips feel like they're moving to the back edge of your mat. Balance because of the angled body. Hands at your heart. Now, breathe in, feeling like you're extending the spine. Exhale, pull belly in and squeeze your block a little tighter, and then a mild rotation to your right. Right there. Okay, so I didn't turn very far. And I'm just taking a look at my knees. My knees are still aligned, which means my hips are still aligned. Now take a look at my knees if you can. Now if this is happening with you, okay, this is what I mean by that hip shift. Because we don't want our hips to be swinging side to side here. And that happens when the knees get out of alignment. So when the knees are aligned, your hips are aligned. So it's just an upper body rotation. All right, breathing in. We'll exhale to unwind, place hands on thighs, really just to help assist your body standing back up. Let's finish that straight line through the body by reaching up into the air and exhale, arms down to your side. Very good. We'll do the other side, so I'll go ahead and turn this side. Inhale, extend the arms up. Exhale, take your chair pose, not needing to sit too deeply, and bring hands to heart center. Weights in the heels, that'll take some of the pressure off the knees. Just be aware if your knees are jetting forward. Sit back instead. Put the energy here. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, pull belly in, squeeze your blocks, and a mild twist to your left until you just naturally stop. You may not feel too much, and that's fine, but you are in a rotation. Take a look at your knees. Be sure they're still aligned, which tells you that your hips are aligned. They're stable. You're in your pose. A couple more breaths here. Very good. Breathing in. We'll exhale to unwind. Again, hands on thighs to help assist the standing. Reaching up into the air to finish the whole flow. Exhale, arms return to your side. Let's go ahead and roll those shoulders again. Great job. All right. We'll go ahead and remove the block. We'll set it to the side. You can get a sip of water. I am going to adjust my mat, and we're going to get ready for our sun salutation, making our way down to the floor. I will certainly guide you, which will certainly guide us also to our second version of Warrior One. Here we go. Mountain pose, still turning the palms forward so we can get that nice opening through the chest. Good posturing for the body. Here we go. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees, sit back into an imaginary chair like you're moving through chair pose, but keep folding. Bring the hands down, let your head relax. Inhale, slide your hands up the shins a little bit to extend your spine, feel like you're moving forward. Exhale, fold again all the way down, bend your knees more. Then place your hands on your mat and start walking or stepping the feet back to the back end of your mat. And then just lower the hips slightly till they're about shoulder level, and you'll be in plank pose. A high push-up position. Breathe in. Exhale, bend your knees a little and send your hips into the air. So we're returning to down dog. So feel the chest sink. You might need to tiptoe forward a little bit. Even take the feet a little wider if that feels better. I like to take my hands a little wider. Keep the knees very bent here. That should allow you to lift your hips a little higher, sinking the chest a bit. Relax your neck. Hands pressing firmly and strongly into the floor so your arms are straight and strong. We're going to pick up the right foot, but first let's stabilize the body. What I like to do is step the left foot to center on the mat. Then inhale, pick up right foot and extend the right leg back. It doesn't have to be up high, just long and lifted. Inhale. Exhale, bend your right knee, bring the right knee in underneath you towards your chest as you shift forward so your shoulders are now stacked over the wrists. And then just set the right foot down, heel lifted. We're going to also set the left knee down. Pull the hips back. Free up your right hand because you're going to go get your right ankle, picking up the foot to place it up a little higher on your mat. We're setting ourselves up for that second version of Warrior One. Let's re-lift the left knee, outer rotation of that leg to plant the heel into the floor. Now, if your body weight is forward, you're never going to get the hands off the floor. So we need to walk the hands back, but feel the body shift back. So you feel a little lighter in the hands here. Then bring hands up to your thigh, keep the knee bent, push into the thigh to help that start of the extended spine. So you're about 45 degrees here, like so. Feet should feel strong, front foot and back foot. So if your back foot doesn't feel strong, make sure there's good pressure back there. As you're able, take the arms out. Then you rise up, take the arms up into the air straight as can be, and exhale, lunge. So there's our pose. So it's our second version of Warrior One. Notice the difference. There's more distance between the feet, and the arms are straight up. We're going to continue from here. Breathe in. Exhale, turn your torso towards the left side of the room and bring your arms down to parallel. Now we're in Warrior Two. Now what I need to do, because this feels awkward in my joints, my hip, my knee, and my ankles, I like to continue that outer rotation of the leg. That feels a little bit more natural for me in this pose. And I'm going to bend this right knee, so making sure the right knee and toes are pointing directly forward, just as the hand is reaching forward. Arm is parallel to the floor in front, parallel to the floor and back. And even turning the head to look forward, which is actually a twist in the spine, but in the neck area. Now a side angle pose. We're going to reach forward to angle the upper half of the body just a little bit and then rotate the arms. Bring the right hand down. Now the arm can be straight here while the left hand reaches into the air. Okay, we're going to do something else here too, just to deepen the pose slightly. One, I'm bending my right knee a little bit, getting a little lower, bending this arm so it's 90 degrees, and then lowering still to rest the arm on the thigh. Keeping the left hand reaching into the air, nice opening through the whole chest. Now just go ahead and just lower this left arm down to your side. Just let it rest for a moment. Take a breath. Now just lift it so it's parallel to the floor. Turn the palm so it's facing in the back of the room. Bend your elbow, I call it a little scarecrow pose. Okay, bend your elbow like so, or like a robot, but bring the hand behind you. Notice how it just disappears behind me. And it's just resting on my low back. Now as you're able, if there's still mobility in this left shoulder, roll it back, just to continue this opening up through the chest. Now we're getting ready for one of our binds that we're going to be doing. Okay, remember this all involves shoulders. At least the binds that we're doing today. All right, I'm going to free up this back hand. I'm going to reach up into the air, nice reopening, and pushing into the right leg with my arm to lift so I can turn. Arms out front, flip the palms up and fold. Bring hands to the floor. Rise up onto the tiptoes behind me there so everything's nicely aligned. Continue pressing into the mat with the hands very strongly so there's less weight in the right foot so I can slide it back, and there's plank pose. We're going to take a brief pause here, bringing the knees to the floor. You can tuck toes. Let's do what I call that half hero. Just pulling back a little bit just to get the weight off the hands, just in case you need to give them a little relief. You can do this anytime you need to because our wrists do get a little tired in some of our poses. All right, come back out when you're ready. Toes are tucked. Let's do cat-cow. So cow is first with the inhale. That's the back bend. Exhale, round it out into cat pose. Relift the knees. Send your hips into the air. Make your adjustments to fully arrive in your pose. Feet a little wider maybe. Hands a little wider. Bend your knees more. Send your hips up. Feel more extension through the torso. Strong press into the hands or into the mat with your hands so your arms are straight and strong. Relaxed head and neck. Get ready for the left foot lift, but first step your right foot to center. Inhale, pick up left foot and extend the leg back, straight as can be. Exhale, bend the left knee, bring it in towards your chest as you shift forward so your shoulders are over your wrists. Set the left foot down. It really doesn't matter where you plant it. You'll set the right knee down. Pull the weight away from the hand so you can free up the left hand. We're going to go get the left foot and step it up a little higher. It usually, for me, kind of lands slightly behind the wrist. Relift the right knee, outward rotation of the right leg to plant the heel. Weight is forward. I can't lift from here, so step the hands back, putting more weight in that back foot, even rise to fingertips. Once you're here, let's get the hands up to the thigh. Push into the thigh, angled upper body, so 45 degrees, straight and strong. Let's emphasize the pressure of the foot into the mat back behind you. So the leg feels strong. You feel well stabled here. Let's take the arms out. As you inhale, rise up, reach up into the air. Exhale, lunge and hold your warrior one. Okay, variation number 2. Couple of breaths. Noticing the shoulders, noticing the legs, notice your feet. Moving on, breathe in. Exhale, turn your torso towards the right side of the room as your arms come down to parallel. Right there. I need to adjust my back leg, continuing that outer rotation. Again, that feels a bit more natural for me. A good check-in with the front leg. Knee is bent, knee and toes are pointing forward. Left arm parallel to the floor, back arm parallel. Let's get the spinal rotation. So head turning to face the left hand. Warrior 2. Ready for side angle. Breaking it down. Shift forward slightly so your upper body is angled at 45 degrees. I'm bringing the left arm down, straight, but inner arm or leg, arm is on the inner leg. There we go. Right hand reaching up into the air. That's initial pose. Going a little deeper, lunging a little deeper, bending the left arm so I can come down a little lower, resting the arm on mid-thigh. Good reaching sensation into the air with the right hand, opening up through the front body. We're going to lower this right arm down to your side so you can feel the arm and shoulder relax there for a moment. Lots of sensations, lots of strength to stabilize the body. Okay, let's relift the right arm. Turn the palm away to the wall behind you. Bend your elbow, our little scarecrow or robot, and then slide the hand to low back. Then, if you have mobility in that right shoulder, pull it back, opening up through the chest a bit more. Again, this is getting ready for our bind, which we'll be doing shortly. Well done. Let's go ahead and release, re-extending the arm. I'm going to take it up into the air, pushing into this left leg with the arm so I can free up the left hand, rising up, facing forward, bring both arms to the front, flipping the palms up, then fold. Hands down to the mat, rise up onto tiptoes behind you. It's an inner rotation. If there's still weight in the foot, that means that you won't be able to pull this foot back. See, I'm too weighted here, so I need weight in my hands. Push, less weight in that left foot so I can slide it back. Hold here for a moment. All right, knees to the floor. Sit back slightly. And bring in your blocks and have them right next to you. Now we're going to sit off to the side, swing the legs around to the front, sit in the center of your mat, and then gently roll down onto your back. Let's just take a little break here so we can get into a bit of a back bend. And we'll use the blocks. Roll down, go ahead and bring knees into chest, and then add some movement as it feels good. And now, since your feet are free, I like to circle the ankles, just like we circled the wrists earlier. Do the same with the feet. So circles, flex and point, wiggle your toes. All right, let's plant the feet into the floor. Make sure you can grab your blocks. Breathe in, fill up your lungs. You can exhale through the mouth, feel the air leave your belly, but also feel your low back kind of press into the floor. Then lift the hips away from the floor. Lift them high enough so you can slide your books or blocks underneath you. And then sit. Sit on your props. Make sure they're in the right spot. Adjust the feet. And I'm going to do the same thing with the arms. I don't know if you can see my arms. My palms are down at the moment, but I'm going to flip the palms up. Okay? Let's get an outer rotation of the arms, helping to open up through the chest a little bit more. There. So it feels a little bit more like a back bend. But this is a supported back bend or supported bridge pose, since we're actually sitting on the block. So a little less engagement of the body. But make sure the breath stays strong. Still fill up your lungs. Good. 3 more breaths here. All right, I'm pressing feet into the floor to lift the hips so I can move the blocks out of the way. There we go. And then slowly return to the mat. And once you're all the way down, go ahead and extend the legs out front and extend your arms behind you. Nice reach and stretch. All right, that was our little break. We're going to get back to our lunges so that we can move into our binding pose that I want to show you. All right, I'm going to bring my knees into the body, catch them with my hands, roll to one side, press to sit up. There we are. All right, so let's get things in place for our next round of things here. I'm going to swing around to hands and knees, adjust my mat. There we go. And this is where we're going to need our long towel, or our hand towel that we'll kind of make as long as we can, like here. Okay, so that's our towel. I'm going to place it on my left side. So place your kind of rolled up hand towel on the left side there, kind of near the top of the mat. I think that should work. Alrighty, let's return to downward facing dog. Hands out front, so it's our hands and knees, tuck toes. Let's do our cat-cow flow. Inhale, continue working our spines and pelvis. Cow pose, inhale. Cat pose, exhale. Tuck toes, lift knees. Send hips into the air. Adjust the feet, adjust your hands. Bend the knees more, send hips higher, strong arms, relax your head and neck. I'm stepping my left foot to center. Inhale, pick up right foot, extend the right leg back. Now on this exhale, I'm bending the knee, shifting forward, going a little faster just to add a little bit momentum so I can get the foot up to the right hand. Now the first time we did all that manipulation of picking up the foot and placing it here. Okay, you can still do that. Now, I'm turning left heel to the floor with the outer rotation. Now before we rise, my left hand, free it up and grab the end of this towel here. Okay, so you just have the towel in your hand. Keep it in your hand. Shifting the weight back to this back foot so you can get the hands up to your thigh. Push into thigh, extending spine 45 degrees. Make sure that back foot feels strong, the leg feels strong. Take both arms out to the side. Yes, you're still holding on to the towel here, all the way up, reach into the sky. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, opening to warrior two. Adjusting the feet and legs as you need to. There we are. Okay, into our side angle. So this is where we're going to start binding the pose. Angle the upper body, about 45 degrees. As I'm rotating the arm, I'm going to bend this right arm, bring it down to the thigh, there, resting on the mid-thigh, not your knee, up here where it's a little stronger, and the forearm, not your elbow, is on the leg. Left hand's reaching into the air. Just like that. Now we're going to bring the left hand down. Keep bringing it down. Maybe bend the elbow so you can bring the hand behind you to your low back. Now you can see my towel has kind of made a little tail. Make sure your feet feel well rooted into the floor, your legs feel strong, because we're going to keep this angle, but free up this right hand. Reach underneath, grab your tail, the end of the towel there. If you had to fold forward to get it, that's fine, but then come back. You can even keep that arm kind of resting on the thigh. This is the bind. Now this is our bind for soft flow, using the strap or using a towel in this case to create a connection between the two hands. In other poses, or other classes like power yoga, if you're able, you might be actually interlacing your fingers or hooking the fingers to create that bind. All right, since we have a nice soft towel, we're just going to drop the towel. There it is. Let's re-extend the arms, floor to ceiling. Hinge our way back up, right there, warrior two. Let's drop the left arm, bring it forward, arms forward, flip palms up, fold. Hands down to the mat, rise up onto tiptoes behind you. Nice aligned body, strong hands, strong arms. Slide right foot back, plank pose. Pause. I'm going to bring knees to the floor. Even sit back by tucking toes a little bit so I can just get this prop ready for the other side. It's already on the right side because that's where we'll need it for the other side. So this, again, this could be a strap or a jump rope or something, but I think the towel works just fine. And it's nice and light and easy to carry. Okay, we're all set. Hands out front, cat, cow. Starting with cow, inhale. Exhale, round. Hold, cat. Lift knees, lift hips, downward facing dog. Adjust the feet, adjust your hands, bend your knees, hips higher, lower the chest, breath. Let's step the right foot to center. Inhale, pick up left foot, extend the left leg back. Exhale, bend the knee, shift forward so you can get the foot up near left hand. Use that other variation if you need to. We're going to plant that back heel to the floor. I'm starting to walk the hands back, but don't rise just yet because we need to grab that towel at the end. Okay, and then walk up or climb up to your thigh. Push into the thigh just to extend the spine. Back leg is straight and strong. Feel sturdy here. We'll take the arms out to the side as we inhale and reach up into the sky. Keep it moving. Exhale, opening to the right side of the room, warrior two. Make sure you got your towel. I'm adjusting my feet, adjusting my lunge. Nice and tall, warrior two. Follow the left arm forward, angled upper body. Bend the left arm 90 degrees. Tip so we can bring this left arm to the thigh. Right hand reaching into the air. Here comes the bind. Bringing the arm down behind you to low back so you create the tail. Now you might need to lift a little or actually sink a little in order to free up this left arm. It's really getting more strength in the legs. So your legs are supporting you. I'm folding forward or bending so I can find, there's my tail. There it is, and then coming back up to my original position. Where I'm getting to is getting my torso along the same alignment as my front thigh. There's my bind. Now imagine holding on to your own hands. Alrighty, that does take a little bit more practice to do. So we're just using our prop. We're done, so I'm going to drop my towel, re-extending the arms, pressure into the floor with the foot to lift, strong leg action there. Coming up, warrior two, dropping right arm, bringing it forward. Flip the palms up and fold. Hands down to the mat. Rise up onto tiptoes behind you. Pressure into the hands. I'm even lifting the hips so you can easily slide left foot back. There's our plank pose. Hold. And now we're complete. Excellent. All right, since we're on hands and knees, let's do child's pose because we can get into shoulders again since we just worked the shoulders. So I'm actually going to take the knees slightly wider on the mat and then start to sit back. Now it's okay if the hips don't go all the way down to the heels. This is where you actually might want to use a big cushion or pillow underneath you so you have something to kind of rest on. But if you can, go ahead and sit all the way back. We're going to keep the arms out front. I'm going to bring my block in and my towel because I'm going to rest my forehead on the towel there, which is on the block. So I'm just bringing it down so my head is not on the floor, but on the prop. But keep the arms extended, actively reaching. So you feel this in your shoulders, and even down through the sides of the body. Take some deep breaths here. Again, just a little bit more activation in the shoulder area. Because of all the shoulder movement we've done in our practice today, again, think about the shoulder joints and how well we're able to move our arms in all directions because of our shoulders. All right, here's a relaxed version where we bring the arms down to your side like so. And the shoulders can just relax here. Three more breaths. When you're ready, maybe hands in a place where you can easily press and lift yourself up. Set those to the side. Sit to the side so you can swing your legs around to the front. I'm going to sit in the center of the mat and roll down onto your back. Give your knees a hug. And some movement here to massage the low back, perhaps. All right, one more little stretch for the shoulders and one more twist. First, just set the feet onto the floor, knees bent. Just relaxed here for a moment. Now extend your arms straight up into the air, like you're reaching for the ceiling. You're going to feel kind of the backs of the shoulders leave the floor. Okay? Now you're going to do a little shift. So your right hand feels like it's reaching to the wall behind you, left arm in front. Just kind of stagger the arms. And then give yourself a hug. You're going to bring the hands down to your shoulders if you can. All right, and just kind of give yourself a big bear hug. And this too can get into the upper back or along the upper back to the rear portion of the shoulders here. 2 more breaths. Let's release the hug, re-extend the arms. They're still staggered, but then stagger them the other way. And then you're going to give yourself another hug. Okay, same thing. We just switch the position of the arms. Grab hold of the shoulders, but feel as if you're trying to reach all the way around your own body. Deep breaths. Feel this in the shoulders, maybe even your elbows. Remember, because of this work with the binds and these twists, mainly the binds, getting into our shoulders, hoping to release any tightness in the connective tissue, the ligaments, the joints. All right, let's re-extend the arms and bring the arms down to your side. Let your arms relax for a moment. We're going to finish with a twist. So bring both knees into chest. Flex the feet slightly, just a mild flex of the feet, and then send the knees over to the left side of the room. I like to extend the right arm straight up and then open it out to the right side of the room. We'll just take about 3 to 5 breaths here. Deep breaths. This feels so good in the low back and the hips. Nice rotation in the spine. Remember, our twists are great detoxification type poses, releasing, but also kind of strengthens and conditions the core and abdominal system. All right, when we're complete, let's bring the knees back up to center. We'll hug the knees in. Same thing other side, so flexing the feet a bit. Send the knees over to the right side. We'll extend the left arm straight up and then out to the left side of the room. I have to be very mindful here because I mentioned I have a little tension in my left hip and left low back. So I don't want to over-rotate here. So what I'm going to do actually, because I think my blocks are still kind of handy, I'm going to bring in my blocks, or at least one of them. And so let this right leg kind of rest on the blocks. That way I'm not over-rotating here. This is perfect. So it took away some of that tension, so I'm not harming the body in this twist. And that's what we really did through most of our poses in soft flow. We're not moving too deeply into our postures. We certainly don't want to harm ourselves. We want to continue bringing benefit to the body, so that might just mean lightening up the pose. And that's why we like using props too. Okay, let's bring the knees back up to center. One last hug, and we'll finish in Shavasana. So you can set the feet down, then extend the legs out front. And if you'd like, maybe one more stretch of the arms behind you. Inhale, then exhale, bring your arms down to your side. Now your palms can stay down, but traditionally you might flip the palms up. Same thing, outer rotation of the shoulders, opening up through the heart space and chest. And then let everything just relax, melt completely into the ground. Feel free to close your eyes for this meditative process, or you can keep your eyes open, gazing upward towards the sky. Meditate on the sound and feeling of your breath. Stay here as long as you'd like, especially if you feel completely relaxed. There's no reason to disturb that relaxation too quickly. So even as I end the practice and you want to continue your meditation, please do so. Just stay here. When you are ready to move, start with breath. Take 5 slow, deep breaths. Think of it as a way to generate energy in the body so that you can eventually move your body. And even when you do move, go slowly. Take your time. Again, really not to disturb the relaxation that you've established. And then when you're ready, take your time, move as slowly as you can. I'm bending my knees so that I can manipulate the body to roll to one side, and then press and lift up to seated. You can sit on a prop or a blanket if you'd like, and maybe cross your legs, sitting up nice and tall. And then one last movement together. We'll inhale, extend the arms up into the air. Exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Take one more breath in. Complete breath out. Very nice. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow, saying Namaste.
Thank you so much for watching and participating in this yoga lesson. To help us with the channel so we can continue to bring you more content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's really appreciated. Namaste.